Five productivity hacks that I teach my CEOs, executives, and high performers. My name is Tanya Oliver. I'm a performance coach for high achievers wanting to build righteous businesses, lives, and ultimately legacies. Today, I'm going to be teaching you five productivity hacks that absolutely, when you and if you apply them, will teach you to be more efficient versus busy in your day to day life. So let's get into this. Also, below, I've added a free 12-month accountability tracker. You can look at that in the description. I absolutely use this for everything, even used it for achieving my book and now for the next assignment. So, if you want the book, the link is also below in the description area. All right. So the first thing is the hack number one is setting goals backwards. Most high achievers, visionaries, set goals based on a vision. And when you set goals based on a vision, it almost comes like this stepping staircase towards the achievement of the vision or the life or the business or the relationship that you ultimately want to achieve, AKA becoming the 10.0 version of yourself. It's all about building with the end in mind. And then you might hear a lot of people talk about reverse engineering. It's just that it's literally having clarity on what you want and then creating progressive goals in order to achieve the thing that you said you want to achieve. So whether it being the vision of your business, the vision of the type of relationships that you want, friendships, and ultimate whatever you're wanting in your intimate personal relationships, as well as anything that you want to achieve, the amount of money in a bank account, the materialistic things that you want to have, all of that starts with clarity on a vision. And it's okay if you don't have clarity on that vision, because I do work with people and they sometimes just have clarity on a maybe just a better life, a better enhancing the business, enhancing the relationship. And that's okay because it's still starting with something greater than your present circumstance. And sometimes it's just getting out of survival mode, being able to operate more efficiently, having more energy, getting better health. Like these are all visions. And then from there, you can set goals, which become your daily disciplines in order to achieve that end target. Um, the second thing that you would, the second hack is really about identifying empty space. And by the way, I'm hosting on May 29th, 30th, and 31st, an intensive time management productivity workshop. And it's absolutely going to be, it's going to be amazing. I promise you, it's going to be amazing. It's something that I work specifically hand in hand with people. So that will also be available. Comment time management if this is something you're interested in. So, identifying empty space in your calendar and learning how to efficiently multitask. There's been mixed reviews on combining things and multitasking. Now, if you're utilizing your time properly, meaning identifying your empty space, aka your transitional time. So, if you're driving, if you're getting ready, if you're doing cardio, if you're food prepping, typically anything that requires you to physically be somewhere, but mentally you have the capacity to take on things to stimulate your brain. It's almost like kind of plug and playing things that maybe it could be an audiobook, maybe it's catching up with phone calls, sending voice memos, doing text messages. Typically, I compartmentalize a lot of that stuff and I teach my clients how to do the same, of just hybriding things that require you to physically be somewhere, but you have the mental and emotional capacity to combine a specific task. So you practically are getting two for one. The third hack is going to be being honest about what slows you down. A lot of times, in order to have self awareness, you have to have self honesty. And this means just taking an honest audit on the people, places, habits, behaviors that are slowing you down. For example, maybe you're drinking alcohol and it slows you down for 3 days. And so you're like, wait a second, I don't want anyone or anything to slow me down because I'm on a mission. I have a target. And if you're somebody that isn't clear on what you want in life, the first step is to remove all of the heavy fog. And that means looking at your habits so that you can have mental sharpness, emotional threshold to be able to take on more at rapid speed. So you're maximizing and living into your God given full potential, or at least being in the pursuit of it. From there, you get to identify kind of the opposite, like where am I wasting time? Where is there wasted space? What is really slowing me down? And it almost, I mean, should make you upset. It should make you sad about how you're operating, especially if you're just seeking things for instant dopamine hits. I had a client that we were working on his schedule, and he was a seven-figure earner, young. And so he didn't really feel like he belonged in the certain rooms because he was always around older people because he was so young, high producing. And so we started to look at common themes as to what he was truly seeking of what served him. And so when we were talking about anger management, high stressful situations and circumstances, and how to process the emotions in a healthy way, we discovered transitioning the nightclubs for batting cages and social inviting like social engagements with inviting the friends that were going to the nightclubs and spending thousands of dollars on bottles and just wasting money, wasting energy, deteriorating the health, and just really slowing down because he had massive visions. We ended up just transmuting it into healthier habits and other activities to enrich his ecosystem. And that's what I mean about identifying the environments that you're placing yourself in, and which kind of leads into the next one, which is about shifting your identity to match your schedule, aka matching your schedule to build on an identity that you're wanting to shift into versus outdated identity. This is a big common theme, hence why I'm inspired to run this time management productivity course. Is I see a lot of heightenedly successful, externally successful entrepreneurs, and they've built and worked so hard to build these businesses. And what ends up happening is they're operating based on a default out identity that they've outgrown, meaning their schedule matches a past version of themselves versus identifying the character role that is required to step into building or expanding and scaling into a higher level, a higher version, a better version of what they've worked so hard to build. And so there becomes this friction in this AKA duality, when we start to really look at their schedule and audit into about four subcategories of where things go. Either it's going to be delegated, it's going to be prioritized, it's going to be completely deleted, or it's going to be put in incubation. And that's just knowing how to prioritize based on the first step, which is the vision, clarity on the vision. Now, if you don't have clarity on the vision, that's completely fine. I've helped a lot of people get clear on the vision just by kind of weeding a few things out. And here's the thing, you guys, is that it almost can be impossible for to having this vision if you've never had an experience. That's why testimonials and having mentors and coaches are so critical, because it almost like you get to lean on their experience. You get to buy into their belief until the belief becomes your own. I kind of look at it as like a muscle. Practice it until you believe it. Practice it until you become it. And that's just really the process. It's almost like if I'm like, hey, do you want a mango or do you want an apple? But you never had a mango before. All you've had has been apples your entire life. And then you try the mango. I think it's mango season. You try the mango and you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This mango. What have I been missing my whole life? And then you prefer the mangoes over the apples. And that's what it's like to up level in your business, your life, and your relationships. This is what it's like to expand your threshold. This is what it's like to start living life on purpose versus based on default, and just taking a healthy time out to get clear on, let me build out my schedule to match the version of myself that I want, if it was a 10 out of 10 or just a plus 1 point higher version of me, versus one just based on outdated identity and one that I've outgrown. And then the fifth hack is really about protecting your non negotiables. This just means establishing your high performance habits, the things that make you operate more efficiently at higher levels, and prioritizing that into your schedule. So, building a schedule around a life you love, a version of yourself that you love, versus one that building a business around a life you end up feeling imprisoned to. And I see this happen so much. People have the cars, the yachts, the homes, the family, the this and that. And on the outside, it looks like you're absolutely winning. But internally, the anxiety, depression, the numbness, the like all those feelings still exist inside of you. And so you can have it all. You can build the external dream, you can have the internal feelings, and they can coexist simultaneously, aka success. Having the outer world and the inner world be in harmony with each other versus completely out of whack. If this resonates with you and you are somebody that wants to create a massive identity shift and learn how to build a schedule around that, aka the identity work, in order to have the shift, so you start to progressively step into that version that you claim that you absolutely would love to one day be. Send me a message, time management, May 29th through the 31st, I'm hosting a 3-day workshop on building your schedule out for the next year in order to achieve that. So, thank you so much for watching. Once again, my name is Tanya Oliver. Go ahead and check out the descriptions below or to the side to see all the cool resources we have. Get your free resources below and your 12-month accountability tracker. And if you absolutely would love to, the book that I wrote just hit international bestseller. And this playbook is a gift from me to you, of course, on Amazon. So, all right, you guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.